everyone, welcome to our channel Knowledge of Friends. Subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon for the latest update. आज हम आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस की क्लास करने वाले हैं जो कि क्लास आपका 4 है। ऑलरेडी हम क्लास 3 कर चुके हैं। अगर हम क्लास फर्स्ट सेकेंड और थर्ड की बात करते हैं तो उसमें हमने यूनिट 1 कंप्लीट किया है जो कि इंट्रोडक्शन टू आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस है। इसके बाद हमने उसको कंप्लीट करने के बाद यूनिट 2 स्टार्ट किया है जो कि इंट्रोडक्शन टू सर्च है। होपफुली आज या एक दो क्लास में हम इसको कंप्लीट कर देंगे। लेट्स सी कि अगर ज़्यादा लंबा क्लास नहीं जाता है तो विल कंप्लीट दिस इन दिस क्लास ओनली, अदरवाइज विल कंप्लीट इन द नेक्स्ट coming classes as well. So unit 2 is your introduction to search, which is very important because this has been a very important subject in reference towards the engineering student. So let's go ahead and start with it. The first will start: how branch and bond technique could be used find the shortest path solution by traveling the salesman problem. Discuss. So that we have to discuss, but before that first we'll discuss what is branch and bound search and what is branch and bound search algorithm. Then after that we will discuss about this. So let's go ahead with the branch and bound search. Before starting with that, it is a huge request to all the viewers. Please go through with the subscribe button and please like, share, and subscribe our channel. And thanks to all the subscribers, those who had subscribed our channel, and thanks for supporting us. Let's go ahead with branch and bound here. In the branch and bound, the branch and bound search strategies applies to the problems having a graph search space where more than the one alternative path may exist between the two nodes, and this strategy saves all path lengths or cost from the node to all generated nodes and chooses the shortest path for the further expansion, and it then compares the new path length with all old ones, and again choose the shortest path for the expansion as well. In this way, any path to the goal that is certain to be a minimal length path here. In the that is your branch and bond search here. In the same case, I will discuss branch and bond search algorithm. So that is your algorithm of branch and bond search. Okay, so algorithm of branch and bond search, that what we have to discuss here. In the same case, in the first step, that you have to place the start node of zero path on the queue, and until the queue is empty or the goal node has been found, you have to determine if the path is in the queue contains a goal node here. And in the same case, that when if the path contains a goal node, then exit with that success, and if the path does not contain a goal node, then remove the path from the queue and form a new path by extending the removed path by one step, and you have to compute the cost of the new path and add them to the queue as well, and sort the path and the queue and the lower cost path in front, and otherwise exit with a failure. So let's go ahead with this, and that is your we have to discuss how branch and bond technique could be used or that to find the shortest path solution to traveling salesman problem. That what we have to discuss. Let's go ahead. Branch and bond technique could be used to find the shortest path solution through the traveling salesman problem. So that we have to discuss. So here, that the branch and bound strategies is a system for solving a sequence of sub problems, each of which may have multiple possible solutions, and where the solution chosen from for one sub problem may affect the possible solution of the later sub problems as well. The principle is that suppose it is required to minimize an objective function, and the second, that suppose that we have a method for getting a lower bound on the cost and of any solution among those in the set of the solution that is represented by the sum subnet, and if the best solution found so far cost less than the lower bound for the subnet, let S be the sum of the subnet for the solution, and where the L of S, that is a lower bound for the cost of any solution that is belonging to S, where the C is the cost of the best solution found so far. And if C is less than equals to L of S, then there is no need to explore S because it does not contain any better solution. And if C is greater than L of S, then we need to explore the S because it may contains a better solution. And for that, for the lower bound for the TSP, that is what traveling salesman problem here, and for that the lower bound is what talking about, that is the cost of any tool is 1 by 2, that is of sigma, and where that is your C is equals to V and that belongs to V, the sum of the cost of the two tools edges, that is edges of V as well. And when the sum of the two tools edges adjacent to a given vertices, that is V is greater than the sum of greater or equals to the sum of the two edges of the at least it cost adjacent to V, then therefore the cost of any tool is greater and equals to 1 by 2 of sigma, that is your sum of the cost of the two least cost edges of the system. That will discuss about complete will give solve a complete graph with the 5 vertices, so that it will be clear to you what we are talking about. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll draw that is your the graph here. This is vertices A, B, C, sorry, this is E. We'll go ahead, A, B, C, and D. So it will join towards like that. This is 3, this is 4, this is 5, this is 6, and of course this is your 7. When it is connected towards this, that is 4, connected towards this is 3, connected towards this, that is 2, connected towards this, that is 6, and these two are connected and set by 8. So this is a sort of the diagram, and for that the node A, node B, and node C, node D, and node E here, that will talk about it. Here we will have node, this is your least cost edge, this is your total cost. So node we have 1 2 3 4 5, so we will have A, B, C, D, E. These were the nodes. So other than that, what is the least cost of the size, and what was the total cost? So for the node A, the least cost edges, your A से D, that is your 2, and from A to B, that is 3. फिर A से C आपका 4 है और A से E आपका 7 है, तो वो ज़्यादा है, तो least आपका 2 और 3 है. So from that A comma D and A comma B, तो 2 plus 3 कितना हुआ 5, तो टोटल कॉस्ट कितना हुआ 5. अब बी नोट के लिए चेक करते हैं. बी नोट के लिए ए से बी, एक ये भी ए से बी वाला, और एक बी से ये 4 है और ये 6 है, ये 4 है, तो बी से ई, बी से ई और बी से सी है एज वेल. सो बी से ई आपका है 3. ओके, तो 3 और ये 4 है और ये 6 है, तो 3 वाला कम है, तो एक ये रहेगा, एक ये रहेगा. तो दैट इज़ योर ए कॉमा बी एंड बी कॉमा ई, and ये 3 था, 3 plus 3 that is 6. For the C node here, अब C node के लिए चेक करेंगे इधर वहाँ पे. अब यहाँ पे ये 4 है, ये भी 4 है, एंड देन वी हैव एंड ये 5 है, तो ये 5 है, तो 4 और 4 ये दो कम है, तो C कामा B एंड C कामा A. C comma B और C comma A, 4 plus 4 that is 8. नेक्स्ट फॉर द डी नोड हियर, डी नोड के लिए देखेंगे डी नोड यहाँ पे ये 2 है, ये 6 है, ये 6 है और ये 5 है, तो ये 2 और 5 कम है इसके डी नोड के हिसाब से, तो दैट इज़ D comma A and D comma C here. So we'll go ahead D comma A and D comma C, and that is your 2 plus 5, and that is 2 plus 5 is equals to 7. For the E node will come here, that is your 7, this is 6, this is 8, and this is your that is of course 3. So in the same case we'll go ahead, and for that we will be having E comma B, and we have E comma D, because that are the two smallest one. So let's go ahead, E comma B and E comma D, so plus add on, and that is your 9. So for that, a lower bond on the cost of any 4, that what we have to find it out. Thus a lower bond on the cost of any 2 equals to 1/2 5 plus 6 plus 8 plus 7 plus 9, जो कि ये आपके हैं, इन्हें ऐड ऑन करना है, that is equals to 17.5 after solving. Okay, so this is what we have to find. This is an example of complete graph with their 5 vertices, and now we'll go ahead and we'll discuss about min-max algorithm with example as well. So let's go ahead. Here is your min-max algorithm. In the min-max algorithm, that has been asking 5 marks in 16 and 17, so which is also very important, and that has been asked in many times in examination paper as well. In the min-max algorithm, that the step 1 is that the set final value to be minimum as possible. The step 2 is if the limit of the search has been reached, then the final value equals to the good value of the current position. Step 3, that is else do, and the step 3 में ही हम करते हैं, we'll generate the successor of the position and recursively call min max again with the present position with the depth incremented by the unity, and then after that we will evaluate the good value, and if good value is greater than final value, then the final value is equals to good value here. And for example, let us consider a game of 4 final states and path to reach the final states from the root to the 4 leaves of the perfect binary tree that has been shown, like this is max, this is left hand side, so here it is min, and that has been divided into 3, this is 5, and this is right hand side, this is 2, this is 9 as well. So here in this that assume the maximum player that get the first chance to move, that is the maximizer of the rule of the opponent at the next level, and at this backtracking based algorithm, it tries all possible moves, then backtracks them and make a decision. So maximizer goes left up, it knows that the minimizer's turn, and that the minimizer has as choice of 3 or 5, that being the minimizer, it will be definitely choose at least among both, that is 3 here. And with this, maximizer goes right, and it is knows that the minimizer's turn, and that the minimizer's has the choice of 2 and 9, and he will choose 2. It is the least among of the 2 values. So being the maximizer, he will choose the larger value, that is 3, and that the optimal value of the maximizer to the go to the left, and the optimal value is 3 here. With the same that shows the 2 possible scores when the maximizers makes left and the right moves here. So with this, it is a maximizer left and right, and that is your 3 and 2, and that is 3 and 5, and 2 and 9 as well. So this is the representation here. Now we'll discuss about give the production rule for traveling salesman problem, and consider the four cities, that is A, B, C, D, and that are given here. So that what we have to discuss, and that has been asked for 5 marks as well. So we'll go ahead there. That is your production rule. For the production rule here, to solve this problem, we can apply the nearest neighbor heuristic, which works by selecting this locally superior alternative at each step, and we can produce that the following procedure as well. The first is that the arbitrary select a starting city, and to select next city, look at all the cities not yield visited with a select and one closest to the current city, and go to its next, and repeat step B if all the cities have been visited. So the production rule, where the cities we have is A, this is D, B, and C. So it's sort of like trapezium, and they were interconnected to one another here as well. In the same production, that consider the fourth city, that is your A, B, C, D, and starting with from A here, and in the same case starting from A, that A, B, C, D will goes to A, B. That is if the distance B is, that is less, district B is less than district C and district D. If the distance of B from city A is less than the distance of C and D, then the salesman will visit city B first here. Okay, and other than that, after that, what we have here, that if A, B, C, D that goes to the A and B. So here in that same, if district C is less than a district B and a distance D, that if the distance C is from city A is less than a distance of B and C and D, then a salesman will visit C first. If distance is that district that is your the distance D is less than district B and district C distance C, so that is if the distance of D from the city A is less than that distance of city C and D, then the salesman will visit city D here first. And if distance C is less than distance D, if the distance is C from the city B is less than that of the distance of city D, then the salesman visit will be the first C here. And if the distance D is less than distance C, if the distance of D from city B is less than that of distance of city C, then the salesman will visit city D here. So here after that if distance B is less than distance D, then if the distance city B from the city C is less than distance of city D, then salesman will visit city B here. If the distance D is less than distance B, then if the distance of city D from the city C is less than distance of city B, then the salesman visit the city D here. In the same case, that if distance C is less than distance B, then if the distance of the city C from the city D is less than distance of the city B, then the salesman will visit city C here. Then if the distance B is less than distance C, if the distance of the city B from the city D is less than the distance of the city C, then the salesman will visit city B here. If visited A or C, then if B is the third city and the C A is and C are the visited, then the sales that will be visited D here. And if visited A and D, if B is the third city and A is the city and the city D is visited with the salesman, will visit the city that is C here. If visited AB, then if the C is the third city and the city A and city B are visited, then the salesman will visit city B. If visited A and D, then if C is a third city and the city A and city B are visited, then the salesman will visit C city here. And if visited A and B, then if D is the third city and city A and B are visited, then the salesman will visit C this city here. and if visited A and C here, if D is the third city and A and C are visited, then the salesman will visit B city here. And if fourth city is B, then the salesman will return to the first city, that is your A city here. And if the fourth city is B, then the salesman will return to the first city, that is your A here. And if the fourth city is C, then the salesman will return to the first city, that is your A. If the fourth city is D, then the salesman will return to the first city, that is your A here. Okay, so this is all related to that. And now we'll discuss about the AO abstract, that is search technique, and that has been discussed in the last class in the detail, but I will tell you a short things that is related to the AO search technique here. The AO search algorithm, and that is initialize the graph to the start node, and that traverse the graph from following the current path, accumulating the nodes that have not yet been explained or solved as well. And that is in the case that pick any of these nodes and expand it, and if it has no successor, call this value, that is your futility. Otherwise calculate other f dash or for the successor as well. If the f dash is 0, then mark the node as solved and change the value of f dash for the newly created node to reflect its successor by back propagation. And wherever the possible, use of the most promising route, and if the node is marked as solved, then mark the parent node as solved. And if the starting node is solved or the value greater than the futility, then a stop, else repeat from the step 2. So that is what we have to discuss. And even though this has been asked in the next time as well, last time as well, question that is of 5 marks, and that is your explain AO abstract algorithm with a suitable example and state the limitations in the algorithm as well. So with the example, if I'm talking about it, so and with this same references towards the examples and even the limitations. So the limitations of AO abstract that we have to discuss here. In the case of the limitation, that the algorithm inserts all the node ancestors into the set, and which has the result of the propagation of the cost change that does back up through a large number of paths, which is not good, and sometimes cannot find optimal path for the unsolvable nodes as well. And for that here, as the second limitation is that sometimes it cannot find optimal path for the unsolvable node. Now we'll go ahead with a sort of example here. So here we have that is your A node, this is B, this is D, this is G, this is C, then H, then E, this is F. So this is on that same node, this is 5, 2, 3, 6, this is 4, 9, 8 and 7. So this has been named here as well. In the same case that it all was solvable as we had talked about. This is unsolvable. These were solvable. And this is unsolvable. Here in the step 1, that in the given graph, the solvable node ABCD, that ABCDEF, and the unsolvable node is G and H, and take A and the starting node, so place input the open here, and that is your A, and that is the close null will be the 9 one, that is has been that is here the 5 here. And with this, the children's are of A and B and C are, which is soluble, and so then the open and place into a close as well. And with the same regard, now prepare that node, or we will be having the node that is your, in the same case it is A, this is B, C. And with the same regard, that now process these nodes B and C, and that the children's B and C are being into open, and also resume the B and C in an open and place them into a close. That is, your open is GDE and that is close is ABC. So in same regard of it, we will go ahead with the concept that is B is divided into, that B has been divided into G and D, and that C is divided into E and R, sorry, E and H. And whereas these nodes G and H are unsolvable, so that then they close directly process, and the nodes is that is D and E. So the D and E, and that comes under the EF as well. And now we have been reached to our goal state, that so that the place value of into a close that we will be having A, B, C, then G is your open, D, E, H is of course, and then F here. And for that we will be having A, B, C, D, E, and then we have F. This is what it is represented here. Let's go ahead with another question, that is explain the constant satisfaction protation, that is to solve the CRIP arithmetic problem, that is cross plus road is equals to danger. That will do, and send plus more equals to money as well, that we will do here, even though we'll discuss about the backtracking that we have to discuss here. We will go ahead with another one, that what we have here, explain the constants of satisfaction position of the crypto arithmetic problem, that is your cross. This is a question, cross plus road, that is equals to danger. Okay, so that has been asked of 10 marks each time. So cross plus roads equals to danger. Before starting with that, you have to know what about constant satisfaction procedure, then we'll solve this. So in that, the constant satisfaction is a search procedure that operates in a space of constant set, and the initial state contains the constant that are originally given in the problem description. And the general form of the constant satisfaction procedure is, you have to select an unexpected node of that search graph, and to generate all the possible new constant, and apply the constant interface rule to select the node. And if the set constant contain a contradiction, then report that this path is dead end, and to report success if the set of the constant a contradiction describes a complete solution, and if neither a contradiction and nor the complete solution has been found, then apply the problem space rules to generate a new partial solution, and that are constants with the current set of constant as well. Insert these partial solution into the search graph. Now for the constants here, that is the constants d equals to 1 here. Then we have your, that is your 2 s's here, so that is 2 s's equals to r, 2s equals to r, because it consists of r as well, 2r. And that is your c plus r is greater than 9 or 8, and s plus 1 equals to e, which is equal or greater than s, that says here that s is equals to e minus 1. We are hence, after guessing all, then cross plus roads, that is your cross का है 9 6 2 3 3, and for the roads here 6 2 5 1 3. Then we'll add on both, so it will give danger because that has told it. And the code for the danger we have is your, that is 3 plus 3 6, 3 plus 1 4, and then 5 plus 2 7, then 6 plus 2 9, 6 plus 7 8, that is sorry 6 plus 2 8, and then of course 9 plus 6, that is 15. So we have a code 158746 here. So this is the code for the danger. Okay, so this is the simplification, how you have to simplify these. Now we'll do another one, that is the solve the following CSP problem of the crypt arithmetic, and that is the problem we have here is your, ये तो बहुत बार पूछा गया है, आई थिंक आपने बहुत बार देखा भी होगा, सेंड प्लस मोर that is equals to money. So send plus more equals to money here. In the same case with this has been asked many time. एक बार पूछा गया है तो 5 मार्क्स में पूछा गया था, और सेकेंड टाइम पूछा गया था तो वो आपका 10 मार्क्स में पूछा गया था. So here in this we will go ahead that the initial guess m equals to 1, and because the sum of the two single digit can generate that at most of the carry, and that is 1 here, and where m equals to 1, then s should be either 8 or s here, and that must sm plus gives a 2-digit number, and this is also considered to carry a digit as well. So if m equals to 1, if m equals to 1, and then of course with the same case जो s है वो या तो आपका 8 हो या तो फिर 9 हो. Okay, and that 2-digit result, that is m plus 1, that can be 10 and or 11, and that is that o will be either 0 or 1. जो o होगा वो या तो 0 या तो 1 होगा, but yes, 1 is already assigned to m, so it cannot be assigned to any other digit, and thus o equals to 0. so m plus 0 m plus s जो होगा फिर वो 10 होगा. अगर हम m plus s करेंगे तो फिर ऑब्वियसली अगर ये 0 है तो फिर वो आपका 10 हो जाएगा. तो वी कैन गेस इट आउट कि m plus s जो होगा वो आपका 10 होगा, and s can be 8 or 9 depending on the carry. And now e plus 0, that is your that is n, and so which one possible is carry of 1, then because otherwise e plus 0 equals to e, then n equals to e plus 1, and c2 equals to, that is your 1 here. So far we have m equals to 1, s equals to 8 or 9, and 0 equals to 0 here, and c2 equals to, that is your, that c2 equals to 1 here, 1 here. We are stuck here because we do not know that the value of e, so thus we can still, we will try different possible values of e. So but e equals to 5, if e equals to 5, then n equals to 6, and n plus r should be 15, then फिर n plus r जो है वो 15 हो जाएगा, and that r जो होगा फिर वो r जो है वो 8 या 9 में होना चाहिए. और जो d plus 2 अगर हमारा y है, d plus 2 जो है वो हमारा अगर y है, तो if again we do not know that the value of the c1, and so we will be assume it, and c1 अगर 1 ले लेते हैं, अगर c1 को हम 1 ले लेते हैं तो फिर r जो है वो 8 हो जाएगा, s जो है वो 9 हो जाएगा, और d plus 5 जो है वो फिर d plus 5 जो है वो आपका 10 हो जाएगा, 10 plus y. so maximum value of d that can be 7, and that अगर d 7 है, if d is 7, तो उस हिसाब से फिर y जो है वो आपका 2 हो जाएगा. और अगर m 1 है, s 9 है, आपका जो ये o है वो 0 है, e आपका 5 है. okay, and then you are that n equals to 6, r equals to 8, d equals to 7, e equals to 5, and y equals to 2 here in the reference towards it. So let's go ahead with the send plus more. तो send plus more आपका कितना बनेगा, money, and for that calculation we have send के लिए है 9567, and more के लिए है 1085, and will be adding on both. So what we'll get here is your, that is 10652. so this is what we'll get it. Let's go ahead with another one, that is your backtracking. Here we'll start with backtracking. in the backtracking, that has also been asked many times in the question paper of 5 marks, so that is also an important, because 5 marks भी बहुत होते हैं पास होने के लिए भी. Here the backtracking is an algorithm method that to solve a problem with an additional way, and it uses a recursive approach to explain the problems, and the backtracking is needed to find all possible combination to solve an optimization problem, and it is a symmetric way of trying out different sequence of decision until we find on one that works, and it is considered an important technique to solve constant satisfaction issues and puzzles. It also considered a great technique for parsing, and also forms the basis of many logic programming, that is programming languages here. Okay, so now we'll discuss about why is game playing a good candidate of AI. So in the case of that, a good candidate for the AI has a following characteristic. The first is that it contains a large amount of domain, that is specific knowledge, because this has been asked also 5 marks question paper. So it contains a computationally complex problems, and it can be developed as a repository for the knowledge of the several expert. Let us consider an examples of game playing an intelligent system that plays chess. So the rules of the chess are easy to learn, but to play this game at an expert level is not easy, because it has 10 to the power 120th possible games here. So this possible 10 to the power 120th possible games of chess satisfies the first characteristic of good candidate of AI, and that large amount of domain specific knowledge as well. This 10 to the power 120th possible games of chess have equally large and complex, and moves by various chess pieces as well, that is your pawns, rocks, kings, etc. These were the computationally complex problem which cannot be solved by the straightforward algorithm, and this satisfies that the second characteristics of the good candidate for AI. Basically, the chess problem is built based on the inputs from the several expert chess player, and it has enormous amount of the knowledge about the chess, that is domain specific knowledge as well, that it uses as a part of its decision making process, and this satisfied that the third characteristics of the good candidate of AI as well. In the same case, if I'm talking about here, that with the same references, that what we get, that hence we can say that that the game playing is good for AI. In the same case, with a reference towards it, let's go ahead with another one, that is give an example of a game tree, and what is the purpose of minimax, that is procedure in the game tree, that has also been asked in that is of 5 marks, so that we'll discuss here. That is your game tree. In the game tree, and the purpose of minimax procedure in the game tree as well, that has also been asked of 5 marks here. So in this, that is a game is a directed graph whose nodes are positioned in the games, and yes, whose edges are moves as well, and that the complete game tree for a game is the name game tree, that is starting at the initial position and containing all possible moves for each position here, and that first two levels of the game for the tic-tac-toe as well, and that is in the same case, that the rotations and the reflections of these positions are equivalent, so that the first player has 3 choices of move, and in the center at the edge of in the player corner, and where the regard of it, that the second player has 2 choices of reply if the first player played in the center, so otherwise that the 5 choices and so on as well. In the same case, the first 2 levels of the game, a tree for the tic-tac-toe, that is the number of the leaf nodes in a complete game. A tree is a number of the possible different ways of the game that can be played. And for example, the game tree for the tic-tac-toe has 255 168 leaves nodes here, and that the purpose of minimum minimax, that the we have to discuss here. Purpose of minimax procedure. So in this, that for many complex games such as chess, search to domination is possible, that is a win or a draw cannot be obtained, and our goal is searching such game tree might be to find a good first move, and this good first move that can extracted by minimax procedure, and this is the purpose of minimax procedure in a game at tree as well. Let's go ahead with the another one, that is explain min-max procedure, describe alpha beta pruning, and give the other modification to the minimax procedure to improve its performances. This has been asked of 5 marks. So here min-max procedure की बात अगर हम करते हैं, min-max procedure. In the min-max procedure, the min-max algorithm removes unwanted nodes and select the optimal nodes for the progressing further. And the min-max algorithm computes the min-max decision from the current state as well. And same reference towards it, it uses a simple recursive computation of the min-max value of that is each successor state. And min-max algorithm we had discussed here only in this class, and now we'll discuss about alpha beta pruning. In the alpha beta pruning, which min-max advantages, that has been asked for 15 marks here in the combination. So we'll discuss about alpha beta pruning here. In the alpha beta pruning, that is a modified version of min-max algorithm, and it is an optimization technique for the min-max algorithm. इसीलिए उसके साथ पूछा जाता है ज़्यादातर, अगर ज़्यादा नंबर का पूछा गया है तो. In a min-max search algorithm, that the number of the nodes, that is their game state, that is has to be examined in an exponential in depth of the tree, and now we cannot eliminate the exponent completely, but we can cut it to half. And there is a technique by which, without checking each node of the game tree, we can compute the correct min-max decision, and this technique is called pruning. This involves two thresholds parameter, alpha and beta, for the future expansion. So it is called alpha beta pruning here. And alpha beta pruning that can be applied at the depth of the tree, and sometimes it is not only prune but the tree's leaves, but also entire that subtree as well. The two parameter that can be defined, that is your alpha, and the second is your beta. So for the alpha here, that the best highest value choice that we have found so far at any point along with the path of the maximizer, the initial value of the alpha is, that is infinity. And for that is the best lowest value for the beta here, that choose or we will found so far at any point along with the path of minimizer, and that the initial value of the beta we have is your plus infinity. Okay, so modification of min-max algorithm, if I'm talking about, modifications to min-max. So in the modification to min-max here, that there are some heuristic search methods other than the alpha beta pruning method, which are used to improve the performance to the min-max procedures as well. And in the same case, if I'm talking about here with regard of it, that they have the performance of min-max procedure they have here. The first is your, that is greedy hill climbing method. The second we have artificial immune algorithm. These were the two modification to min-max algorithm that has been asked for 15 marks, because इसमें min-max procedure भी पूछा गया है, min-max algorithm भी पूछा गया है, alpha beta pruning भी पूछा गया, modification to min-max algorithm भी पूछा गया है. अभी तक ये जितने हमने पढ़े हैं टॉपिक्स, उनमें से जो ज़्यादातर पूछे गए क्वेश्चन है, like what are the difference parameter that is used to evaluate a search technique, prove that the breadth first search is a special case of the uniform cost search, and why heuristic search is better than the blind search. Explain AO abstract algorithm with a suitable example and state the limitation in the algorithm. Discuss the problem of the water jug with heuristic search technique. Explain about the climbing algorithm with its drawback and how it can be overcome. Solve the crypt arithmetic problem, that is 10 plus more plus equals to money, that we had discussed here as well. explain min-max algorithm with example we had done, how branch and bond technique that could be used to find the shortest path solution in the traveling salesman problem discussed that we had done, and what are the production that is a production system, and with the same regard of it that explain the various types of the production system that we have already discussed. So these were the important questions that has been asked in the examination of yours, and now we'll discuss more further that is in the detail of artificial intelligence of unit 2. And before that, any doubt you have, you can go on through with the comment session. You can just tell me. I will be clear your doubts as well. So now in this, other than that, what we had discussed about it, about the artificial intelligence in the terms of the search, that the search is a process of formulating and examining alternative. It starts with an initial state, and a set of candidate action has a criteria for identifying the goal state as well. The types of search we had discussed about it, that is your uniform search and informed search. And uninformed search is a type of a search which is commonly used by the search procedures and which explore all the alternatives during the search process. And informed search is defined as a method of the trick or as a rule that is used to make the search for more effective and more efficient as well. When talking about the searching, that is, the searching is a sequence of steps that transform the initial state to the goal state. And the process of the search includes, like, first you have to initial state description of the problem and a set of the legal operator that can change, and then the final or the goal state. There are the two basics of ways to perform a search, that is, the first is your blind search and the second is your heuristic search. The parameters that is used to evaluate the search technique, and that is the two parameters that is determining the efficiency of the various search algorithm, and are its branching factor and its solution depth. And the branching factor is nothing but the average number of the children of a given node. The solution depth of the problem instance is length of the shortest path from the initial and in a goal state, or a length of the shortest sequence of that operator that solves the problem. We're talking about the uniform search, that is uninformed search and informed search. In the uninformed search, a blind or that uninformed search algorithm is one that uses no information other than the initial state and the search operation that the test for the solution here as well. In the same case, if I'm talking about that a blind search should proceed in a systematic way for exploring the nodes in sometimes predetermined order, or simply by selecting the nodes at random. Uninformed search is also called a brute force and search, and or the blind search or an exhaustive search as well. The uninformed search is of two types, as I told you about it in a detail, that is the breadth first search and a depth first search. In the case of the informed search, when more information than the initial state that the operators in the ghost test is available, and the size of the search space that is usually concentrated, and such methods are known as informed search. Informed search method often depend on the heuristic information, and informed search is also known as heuristic search as well. The types of informed search, if I'm talking about, that is your hill climbing, best first search, a abstract algorithm, AO abstract algorithm, and of course the means end analysis as well. There were five in informed search. And like they can ask you about the breadth first search technique. So in the breadth first search that are performed by exploring all nodes at a given depth before proceeding at the next level, and this means that all immediate childrens of the nodes explored before any children's that the childrens are considered. It has the obvious advantages that of always finding a minimal path of the length that is solution when a one exists, and however many nodes that may need to be explored before a solution that found, especially in the tree, is very full. And an algorithm for the breadth first search uses a queue, that data structure that holds all generated but still unexplored node as well. The order in which that the nodes are placed on the queue are removed, and exploration determines the types of search as well. In the breadth first search algorithm, first you have to place the starting node, and then of course on the queue, and after that, if the queue that is empty, return failure and stop, and if the first element on the queue is a goal node G, then return success as and stop, otherwise remove the expand on the first element of the queue and place the children on the other end of the queue in an order and return to the step 2 here. For this we will be drawing a sort of a tree, and I will just tell you how we will go through within BFS, that is your breadth first search. This is a tree, okay, like it will expand into 3, then it will expand into 2, same for it, that expand into 3, okay, this is expand into 1 only. So that will move ahead, so that is will moving ahead here, then it will move like that only. So it will further move as well. So but I will just telling you कि यहाँ से start करते हैं, इधर इस पे सर्च इसमें गए, we'll go here, then उसके बाद we will go here and move it like this. ओके सो अगर इसके बाद भी होता है तो हम यूँ जाते हैं. तो इस तरह से BFS वर्क करता है, ब्रेथ फर्स्ट सर्च ऑफ अ ट्री है. The time and complexity, if I'm talking about that, the time and the complexity of the breadth first search is that is of O of B of D, and this can be seen by notifying that all the nodes of the node that goal depth of that are generated, and therefore the number of generated B plus square, then B cube B D, till BD, and that will store it. And okay, then the use of the Bose exponential time of the space is one of the main drawback of the breadth first search as well. Now we'll talk about some detail about the DFS as well, that is your depth first search. In the DFS, that is that the depth first searches are performed by dividing the downward into the tree and as quickly as possible, and it does not it does this by always that is generating a child here, and in the same case child node or from the most recently expanded node, then generating that child's children here, and so until a goal is found or some cutoff depth at point is D is reached as well. If a goal is not found when a leaf node is reached at the cutoff point, the program backtracks to the most recently expanded node and generates another of its children, and this process continues until the goal is found or the failure occurs. An algorithm for the depth first search is the same as that of the breadth first search, except its ordering of the nodes placed on the queue, and the depth first search places a newly generated children at the head of the queue so that they will be chosen first here. For the depth first search, if I'm going to let you know about the in a detail of the tree, so that what we have here is in the same reference towards it. For the DFS here that we have, okay, so here that will they have a children. So they have like children more and more. So in the DFS what will go is that it will move from here to here, then it will go here to here, then it will go from here to here, then it will go here, then after that other than that here it then come here and it will move like this. So that has one gone on DFS, that is your depth first search here. In the same case here, depth first search algorithm, that is you have to place that is place the starting node that is S on the queue, and that if the queue is empty return the failure and stop, and if the first element on the queue is goal node G, that is return success and stop otherwise, and remove all the expand the first term and place the children at the front of the queue, that is in any order of drift, and return to the step 2 as well. In the depth first search, that is the versus by breadth first search, where the depth first search is a predefined over the breadth first search, and when the search tree is known to have a plentiful number of goals, otherwise depth first search may never find a solution. And the depth first cutoff also introduces some problems if it is set too shallow, and goals may be missed, and if that set too deep, extra computations may be performed as well. In the same case of the time and space complexity, the time complexity of the depth first search tree is same as that of the breadth first search here, and it is the less demanding in the space requirement. However, since only the path from the starting node to the current node that to be stored here, and therefore it if the depth cutoff is D, the space complexity is of D here. In the same regard of it, if I'm talking about more detail, that is the expressions of the time and space complexity of the breadth first search and the depth first search algorithm strategies that has been asked of 10 marks, and that approve the breadth first search is a special case, or that is of uniform cost search, even though that was we have discussed in the last classes. And in the same case, if I'm talking about in a detail for the algorithm of the best first search, that is put the start node here. So here was put the start node on the list, and that call open and unexplored nodes, and if the start node is a goal node, a solution has been found. If open is empty, so no solution exists, and remove the first node and from open and place it in the list called close of expanded node as well. And in the same case, expand node n, if it has no successor, go to the step 2 and place all the successor of the nodes n at the end of the open here. And same case, if any of the successor of the node n is a goal state, solution has been found. The algorithm is that the uniform cost search put the start node S on an open, and if the start node is a goal a node, a solution has been found. Otherwise, the set of g of s is equals to 0. If open is empty, no solution exists, and select from the open node, and that is of I, that is of g of I is minimum, then you have to resolve that dice and favor of the goal and move to the I from the open to close. And for that same case, if the node is goal node is a solution or has that has been found, and in the same reference towards it, with the regard of it, expand I, and if no successors, go to the step 3 here. In the same case, talking about that for each successor node j of that node I, that compute g of j and g equals to g of I plus c of I of j, and that is place all the successor nodes to an open and go to the step 2. Let's go ahead with another one, that is show that the depth first search technique is neither complete nor optional. So in the depth first search is not an optional and complete. The reason why it is not optional, that is, it returns to a path as soon as the goal is reached, and however this path is not always the shortest path, but the path generated by the result of going down a long branch as well. The another problem is that the DFS could continue down an unbound branch forever, even if the goal is not located on that branch as well. And same for that there are the couple of technique used to keep DFS from continuing down an infinite branch, and that technique is called iterative deepening, and that is which sets a limit for the depth first search will search down a branch before switching to the another node. And this approach is a preferred uninformed search method where there is a large search space and the depth of the solution is not known. With this, what is the production system, and explain the various types of production system which we had discussed here only. In the same case, for the production system, that the origin of the production system dates back in to 1943, and when they were proposed by the email post for the first time, and that since then they had undergone many modification, but the basic idea remains the same. The concept re-emerged in the content of the natural language processing in 1957 by the Chomsky, and that is where the production system was proposed for modeling human as solving behavior for the Nobel and Simon in 1972. The word procedure production in the production system denotes a condition action rule, and for describing and performing the search process in the AI program, it is useful to the structure them as well. The process of solving the problem that can useful be modeled as a production system. So various types of production system, that what we have to discuss here. Various types of production system. So in the production, various types of production system, we have the first we have is your partially commutative. Second is that is a non partially commutative, and the third one we have monotonic, and the fourth we have is your that is non-monotonic. Here for the partially commutative, the monotonic, that is the theorem proving, this is your monotonic theorem proving, and non-monotonic robot navigation. And non-partially commutative, that is a chemical synthetic synthesis, and non-monotonic, that is your bridge here. And with the same case here, in the same case, monotonic and non-monotonic, that has been characterized one on one. The partially commutative monotonic production system are used for solving the ignorable problem, and in the same regard of it, we can say here that the partially commutative monotonic production system that are important from the implementation standpoint, and because they can implement it without the ability of the backtrack to the previous state. And non-monotonic partially commutative system on the other hand of the data is useful for the problem in the change that occur but cannot be reversed, which order of the operation is the critical. And non partially commutative system that are useful for many problems and which are irreversible change occurs as well. So there are the differences that even though we had discussed in the last class, but there are more to discuss as well. And that is the difference between your uninformed and informed search technique, and for the difference between the BFS and the DFS as well. So in the that case, the uninformed search that we have here, that is the nodes in the state space that are searched mechanically, and until the goal is reached, a time limit is over, the failure occurs. And for the informed search, more information about the initial state and the current state that the operators is available. The second difference is in this in uninformed search, that in some uninformed searches even information about the goal is not available. For the informed search, some information about the goal is always available. The third comparison is that uninformed search, in an uninformed search here, there are mostly blind grouping method, and for the informed search there are methods are guided heuristic quality estimates. And for the fourth difference, for the uninformed search, that the search efficiency is low, and informed search, that is the time search efficiency is high. The uninformed search, that is the search method takes long time, informed search time saving method. The sixth difference for uninformed search, that is the practical limits on the computer storage available for the blind search. Informed search, that is less amount of the computations is required. The seventh comparison, in uninformed search not practical for solving very large problem, and for informed search that can handle very large search problem as well. The eighth difference, that is it is possible to reach the best solution in uninformed search, and in informed search most of the good enough solution is accepted and as optional solution. And then for uninformed search, that is an example of this search are the depth first and a breadth first, etc. And for the informed search, example of this search we have your best first, health, climbing, abstract, etc. Now we'll go ahead with the difference between the DFS and a BFS here. In the same case, that the DFS, we have a BFS, that every single solution in a graph to be expand here. And for that case, so here we'll end up with this, that we'll discuss in the next coming class. And so first of all, it's a huge request to all the viewers, please go through with the subscribe button, and please like, share and subscribe our channel so that many and maximum people can get the information at once, and even though you can also enjoy the video as well. In the unit 1, which we had cover up introduction to AI, that is your that is introduction to artificial intelligence, foundation and history of artificial intelligence, application of artificial intelligence, intelligent agent, structure of intelligent agent, computer vision, natural language processing. Then introduction to search, that is unit 2, that is introduction to search, searching for the solution, uninformed search strategies, informed search strategies, local search algorithm and optimistic problem, adversarial search, search for the games, alpha beta pruning. And then after that, in the unit 3rd, we have to discuss knowledge representation and reasoning, where we have to discuss knowledge representation and reasoning, propositional logic, theory of the first order logic, inferences in the first order logic, forward and backward chaining, resolution, probabilistic reasoning, utility theory and hidden Markov model, that is HHM, and Bayesian network as well. In the unit 4 here, machine learning, that what we have to discuss here, that is machine learning, supervised and unsupervised learning, decision tree, statistical learning model, learning with a complete data naive based model, learning with a hidden data, EM algorithm and reinforcement learning as well. In the same case for the unit 5, pattern recognition, that we have to discuss pattern recognition, introduction, design principles of pattern recognition system, statistical pattern recognition, that is your parameters, estimation method, principal component analysis, that is your PCA, and the nearest neighbor rule, bias classifier, support vector machine, that is SVM, k-means clustering, that we have to discuss here. So first of all, it's a huge request to all the viewers, please go through the subscribe button and please like, share and subscribe our channel. And thanks to all the subscribers, those who had supported us. Your support is very important to us. Thank you. Hope you enjoy this video. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up and give a suggestion on a comment box. Thank you.